Everybody, it's Dr. Mac here, ready to kick off Module 5, and we're going to start talking about interactive read-alouds. And that's what I mean when we're talking about children's literature, and we really want to create that community of readers, and we're celebrating the art of the word, and we're modeling to students how we read and our love for literature. But we also need to think about how do we read to students? And it's a fine balance because if you're just reading the novel, no matter how expressive you are, if you don't have some kind of connected learning goal, it may not be that effective. At the same time, if you're just barraging kids with questions, bam, bam, question here, question there, you interrupt the story, you lose your flow, and you don't want to take away from the literature. I mean, it's the author's word that you're trying to celebrate. So you have to find that right balance. And we're going to talk about that a lot this module. What makes effective read-alouds? How do we do read-alouds? And your performance task is going to involve you getting back together with your book clubs and taking turns recording each other doing a read-aloud. So you're going to have to pick an award-winning children's book and do a read aloud with your book club groups. So you might want to get together online, or if you want to use like a screen capture tool, you guys can get together using FaceTime or Google Hangouts or some kind of video chat, and you just record your screen, and I will try to post a tutorial on screen recording otherwise. But you could just get together in the library for those who are on campus and use a phone and make a recording and upload it to like YouTube or Google Drive and share it to our class stream. But you have a couple readings to do as well, and I want you focusing in on what is the research saying about the way that we do read-alouds. And then you have a playlist of classroom examples, because even before you try to do the read-alouds, look at the examples I gave you, compare them to the reading, and do some thinking with your group. How would you read to the students in a way? And one way to think about it is kind of, it's a cliche, but we say BDA reading, like before, during, and after. And that during the interactive reading aloud, that before is critical. You need to really set the momentum and get students involved in the task and be motivated to hear the book. And during the reading, you want to read with expression and have them dive deep into the pages of the book, yet at the same time keep your learning goal in focus. So, for example, if you want students working on before, middling, and end, like sequencing in a kindergarten classroom, only ask targeted questions that get them to sequencing. And then also allow kids to be interactive during the reading. Give them a chance to look at the paragraphs and explain what's going on. And we'll also talk about another kind of technique later called dialogical reading. But for during the reading aloud, you really want to you're the author, you're doing the reading. And it's really the after part of the lesson where you invite response. And that's where you want to have kids keep connecting back to the textual evidence in the story. What drove them around certain conclusions? And you might want to have questions ready ahead of time. So with that, I just want to do a quick overview of the module. So I'm over here on the classroom website, and if you click on literature and read aloud, sorry, it says foundational skills on my screen. I need to erase my cache. And so what we have here are 3 readings. You're going to read a book by Fisher et al. On interactive read-alouds. These are a common set of implementation practices. And in that piece, they did a quick research study looking at read-alouds. Then you have an awesome piece by Lawrence Sipe, Taking Back and Taking Over. And that's really about empowering students to get more involved in the read-alouds and be expressive. Like, what does expressive engagement mean like? And then a classic Beck and McCohen piece on text talk, Capturing the Benefits of Read-Alouds. I've told you all the time, to get at comprehension and knowledge growth through children's literature, yes, we're talking about the human condition and what it means to be a human and why stories endure, but in terms of the literature skills that you're required to teach, you do that through text-based talk and text-based analysis. So how do we get that kind of level of text-based talk and text-based analysis? That's what Beck and McCohen get at. And in your writing this week, when you're writing about the readings, I want you to really try to integrate the 3 and evaluate and try to develop your own set of principles about read-alouds. It's time for you to become the experts. Instead of just summarizing the readings, take a position and use claims and evidence from the readings to back up your position. Then, in terms of your tasks, you complete the readings, keep on annotating if you're annotating, And then I've already talked about how to write. Now your performance task, you're going to want to get together with your book club groups for this. The first task is to watch the playlist, then meet in your book club groups. Oops, spelling mistake on should. Then choose an award-winning book. You can just look for Caldecots or all the different awards out there, the diverse awards, illustrative awards, so many different awards for children's books. But pick a winner, and I want you to practice doing a read aloud. And with your groups, you can have your book club groups pretend to be students. You could have just one of them film you. There's lots of different strategies. And then share the video on our classroom stream. And because you do have to get together with the book club groups, I will again give you 2 weeks for the performance task while the module only lasts 1 week, kind of like we did the last time we met in module 3 with your book clubs. So that's pretty much it for this module. I'm really looking forward to it. I gotta say, I've been loving, between the literacies and worldviews and then watching all your workshop methods and your mini lessons come in, I'm really starting to love this class. You guys are getting involved in the class stream. There's a good group talking and hanging out. I hope to see everyone staying on task. A few of you are falling behind a little bit in your blog posts, so make sure you stay on top of those. And make sure to hang out and talk to each other and exchange ideas, exchange websites. If you find other videos out on my playlist, let's kind of make our classroom stream a place where new teachers can hang out and talk about how they want to use children's literature. And this week, let's talk about how to do read-alouds. All right, folks, that's it for me.